Hey everyone, I'm Erin and welcome to the Cardboard Republic. We have a haul video for you, so we're going to talk about a bunch of the games that we got in during the month of February. First though, a note about our Patreon that might be of interest to our YouTube audience. We just hit our last goal and our next one at $100 is going to be to have Ryan come on and do a series of vlogs about what it's like to be a board game reviewer, what it's like to work in this part of the industry. And then from there, a whole bunch of other board gaming topics. So those will all be available on YouTube. So I thought I would let you know that if you were looking for a reason to support us, that maybe now would be a good time. Anyway, you can check out a link below to our Patreon, see if there's something there you'd be interested in. Thank you. All right. February, we have this really weird mix of games this month. We have some really, really light games, and we have some quite literally really, really heavy games. Hang on. Oh god. Okay. Anachrony.
He's upside down.
Is upside down. Anachrony is an enormous worker placement, resource management, all sorts of things. There are minis. Everything that you could potentially want in a Euro style game is in this box. Also, it's a workout. Let me get rid of this real quick so that I can talk to you. Okay, Anachrony is a game that has been really making the rounds on Twitter lately, in part just because it seems to be really good. People are really digging it. In part because, hold. It has these little minis. I think that they're an extra pledge level, but if you get this level of Anachrony, you have the little mini, which I know everyone is really into. I don't really get it, but that's fine. You do you. And then you have the little like cardboard token that says what is in the mini, and it like goes right in there in a little slot on the little mini's back, as if it is in the mini, which is cool because these are supposed to be like exosuits, and that's like anyway, it's thematic, it's appropriate, it is something that the board gaming world is really excited about. Again, I don't really get it. Minis are cool. I don't know if that is your thing. Check out Anachrony. We're going to be playing it soon. The game is enormous. Guys, it's seriously enormous. I'm just going to move on. That's all I've got for you right now is I am kind of awed by the weight of this game. If you have seen the box for The Gallerist, like when that was shipped and people were complaining about the cost and just how heavy it was to ship, Anachrony is the same sort of thing. This is not going to fit easily on your shelf. I don't know where we're going to put it. Probably just on our table for now, because we're probably going to be playing it a lot. Crisis is simultaneously lighter, but also darker than Anachrony. So in Crisis, you are playing businesses that are trying to build themselves up within a nation that's undergoing a severe financial crisis. Kind of akin to the one that Greece is still going through right now. Foreign governments have imposed austerity, and you as a business leader have to decide how much you want to play by the rules, how much you want to maybe skirt the rules. Ryan and a bunch of our friends have played this one and did really like it. It's one of our Laurel nominees, and I have not had a chance to play it yet. I was actually pretty hesitant about it until I started to prepare for this haul video and learned a little bit more about it, and it does seem really interesting. So it'll be on my list soon too, and we'll report back on with games that pull things from the headlines, kind of like this one does. They can do it really, really respectfully and do it really well and teach you all something about what's going on in another place. Sometimes, though, it can feel a little disrespectful the way a game handles a certain situation. So in this case, the game is very, very clearly linked to the economic crisis in Greece. And I'm curious to see whether playing this game feels like it is teaching me something about that, or like it is exploiting that for entertainment. I will report back on what I think about that soon. Key to the City London, on the other hand, is a game that I thought I would be super interested in, and then I read what it was about while preparing for this haul video, and now I'm gonna foist this one off on Ryan. This is a Keyflower game. I know that people love Keyflower so much, and I am not one of them. I do not like that game very much at all. This game, while different, is set kind of in the same universe. I mean, Key to the City, you're playing with a bunch of things that they just added key to the front of. Anyway, in this one, you are building up the city of London. It's worker placement. It goes through a bunch of different phases. I think that if you like Keyflower, you will probably be interested in trying this if you haven't already. If you do not like Keyflower, you should marry someone who likes Keyflower and make them play it for you. Shadow Rift, 2nd edition, on the other hand, is 100% up my alley. It is up my alley so much that it built a house there and then built a Shadow Rift there. I don't know where I'm going with this anymore. But Shadow Rift is a co-op deck buildery game that do I need to tell you more? Those are two things that I love. And I have never played the 1st edition of Shadow Rift, even though I know it's been around for a while. So this will be my Shadow Rift inauguration. I am excited for it. This is one that I will not be letting Ryan play without me, so that's something. And we will be getting to the table very, very soon. I will report back on whether or not I like it quite as much after I actually try it. On the incredibly much lighter end of the February game spectrum, we have Herbaceous. Herbaceous? Herbaceous. Either way, it is a game about growing herbs. It's supposed to be a very light card game that you can play while you relax and eat crumpets and drink tea. I don't even know, but it is beautiful. The art is amazing. I have heard very, very good things about the game. I tend to not love lighter games, but I am still really, really excited for this one. So February is shaping up to be a really good month for me. Fish Frenzy and Backyard Builders Treehouse are two obviously much lighter games. You don't see too many heavy Euros named Fish Frenzy. In Fish Frenzy, you are assembling collections of fish. There are some super cute seagulls on the back. I'm kind of excited about those. In Backyard Builders Treehouse, you are building a treehouse. You're building a treehouse. It's super obvious. You're trying to build the best treehouse while also making sure that your opponents don't build the best treehouse before you. The two games in and of themselves are interesting, but maybe wouldn't have made it into our collection overall. They are probably not our demographic, but we bought them to support Crash Games, who's going through a really rough time and are now moving on to bigger and better things elsewhere. But these were the last two games put out by Crash Games, and now they are a beloved part of our collection. Speaking of Pokemon, I'm just kidding. We weren't speaking of Pokemon. I'm just thinking about Pokemon because I'm always thinking about Pokemon. Look at this game about monsters! Ah! Okay. Isle of Monsters is adorable. Okay, hold on. So the whole idea behind Isle of Monsters is that you inhabit this island that is full of monsters. The monsters are super friendly, but the outsiders don't know that. So you train the monsters to be ferocious and scare off the outsiders. In this game, you are collecting your monsters to try to become the best monster trainer to scare off the most outsider or something along those lines. Who really cares? Look at those monsters! And then there's Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes, Consulting Detective, is a much more serious game about being Sherlock Holmes. I'm actually super pumped for this. I love Sherlock Holmes. I will watch or read anything about Sherlock. I have had 3 pets named after characters from Sherlock. So excited. Super excited right now. All right here. But Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, this is a standalone expansion to the original Sherlock Holmes consulting detective. This one has you solving Jack the Ripper and a couple other cases, proceeding through them. Don't really know how it goes because I never played the original consulting detective, much to my dismay. It is still on my list. It might even be on my bucket list if I were the type of person who could maintain something for my entire life. But I'm not, so it's not really on my bucket list, but it would be. This doesn't need to be on my bucket list because it can just be on my table. The end. Play Sherlock Holmes. There's a certain genre of games that I've discussed a lot. I like to call them games with men on the cover standing in front of things, holding maps or swords or sometimes dogs. It depends. But, okay, man, cover, man, not really standing in front of things, but there is a map in the background. He's sort of holding a bunch of papers leaning up against a desk. I'm gonna say this fits in that category. Also, it's called The Colonists. There you go. The Colonists is a game about colonizing, like almost every other game I've ever played. In The Colonists, though, you seem to be taking a much more long-term look at colonization. So not only are you trying to get your workforce invested in what you're doing, but you're also trying to train them so that when the colony proceeds to its next level, you have workers who are available with the skills that you need to grow. That whole idea does seem really interesting, although I could never play another game about colonizing something and be fine for literally the rest of my life. But I will probably try this, and we will see what happens. If I don't try it, then Ryan definitely will, because we put that in our vows. That's February. There are a bunch of games in February that I am super excited for. There are also some games in February that I wouldn't play if you literally chained me to the table. That's why we make this a team effort at the Cardboard Republic. If I'm not gonna play something, someone else definitely will. And that all brings it right back to our Patreon. Everything we do is really based on what support you all can give us. And so if you are generous and have a few extra dollars that you want to contribute, you can head on over there and do that. If not, that is totally fine. We understand, and we hope that you still love our content. Please leave a comment below with the games that you got in during February, or if you want to argue with me about any of the games that I said were not good. I'm up for that too. Love it. But also like and subscribe, and we'll be back soon with, I think our next thing is going to be a haul video talking about, no, that's what this was. Next thing is going to be a to be played video talking about the games that we are going to be playing during the month of March. Bye.